Good day, everybody. I try to stay up to date and aware of everything that's going on YouTube golf. Obviously, I'm in that space, and when new and interesting things happen, we want to be on it. We want to talk about it, and I want to get your thoughts on this because I think it's phenomenal, and that is the Bryan brothers video, the $100,000 skins match video. A basically 3-hour long video. I watched the whole thing. I couldn't stop. And I was reading I not only watched the whole thing, I was reading tons and tons of comments, and I wasn't the only one. It seems like everybody was very, very intrigued, interested. I want to know, this is my shout out or my request from the Bryan brothers. I want to know your average view percentage. That's what I want to know. Just DM me or something. Tell me what is the average view percentage. So that is, for those of you that don't know, I mean, it's clear enough. It's just on average, how much of that video do people watch? And like for long videos, it's usually like really long. It's usually like 20% is like the average person is watching 20% of that video. So I want to know what that is for a 3-hour long video. Your CPM is got to be high. That's how much YouTube makes, or you're making per 1,000 views. So how much are you making? Like, I'm curious about that too. Now that's basically asking how much money you make. So I don't want to do that. I think that's kind of not necessarily appropriate, but I'm guessing that CPM is ridiculously high. The longer the video, the higher you make per 1,000 views. And so that's a 3-hour long video. It's got to be $100. That's just my guess. It's got to be up there. Now, normally like a long video is like $35, and then you get your cut from YouTube. I'm guessing this one is blowing the roof off the joints, because not only is it long, which creates a higher CPM, but it's also engaging and people are sticking around a long time. So those are two things I want to. Well, the one thing I want to know is average view percentage. How much, and you guys can tell me too, commenting below, did you watch the whole thing? Are you watching the whole video? I did. Here's what we know is that we got the Bryan brothers, Grant Horvat, Fat Perez, Rick Shiels, and Peter Finch. So they have 6 YouTubers competing in a skins game. So you have to, in order to win the money on that hole, you have to beat everybody. You have to have the lowest score on that hole to win the money. And if nobody wins, it carries over. And so literally guys are putting for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 or more. I'm not going to give anything away here, so don't worry about that. But it is interesting. Now, one of the things, like this time of year, growing up, we would watch the skins game around Thanksgiving time, and it was, Tiger Woods and these guys playing for tons of money. And before that, it was like Jack Nicklaus, Lee Trevino, and Raymond Floyd, and, interesting characters. It was fun. They would play, and it was cool. So that's kind of done different things, and you have the match coming and all these different things. Anyways, this was, for me, and reading the comments, way more entertaining than all that other stuff. It was just riveting. Here's what I wanted to compare it to, because it's very similar sort of thing. Good recently had a live stream with Foreplay, okay? So they did a live stream against Foreplay, and it's roughly kind of a similar situation. It's basically a 3-hour long video, and they did a live stream. And currently, after like 4 days or so, at the time of shooting this video, they have 312,000 views live. What's it live? I mean, total at this point. The live viewing on that was 6,000 to 8,000 viewers watching live in the moment, which based on their other live streams, it was relatively low. And this live stream they did with Foreplay is the least viewed live stream they've done to date. Now, nothing against anybody there. It's just the facts. It's the least viewed live stream on their channel to date versus what just dropped less than 24 hours ago at the time of shooting this video. The Bryan brothers edited skins match, 342,000 views. So they are crushing it in terms of views. And this is one of the things I want to know. Do you guys, for those of you who have watched both, I watched a bit of the live stream, and honestly, just the reality, it wasn't that interesting. In other words, like, there were some interesting pieces, but it was hard to stay engaged. I much prefer the edited version better because we have shot tracers, we have it cut together to keep the most interesting parts, and we're taking out the boring pieces. And when you're live, there's a lot of boring pieces. So that's why live on the PGA Tour or whatever, you can go to commercial and it's still edited. Even though it's live, the guys in the truck and the director are putting together and replaying the best parts. It's all recorded and they're showing you the best. So we understand that. So this was the Bryan brothers video, first of its kind. I mean, there's been other skins matches on YouTube with YouTube golfers, but not quite like this. This was one of its kind. Is this my plea, my audition to be involved? Yes, it kind of is. That would be awesome. They'd probably take all my money, but you never know. Go watch this thing if you haven't seen it already, and anybody can win. Anybody can win money. You've got Wesley Bryan, who's a PGA Tour winner, but again, you could have Scotty Scheffler out there, and if you make 3-4 birdies around, you're probably going to beat Scotty Scheffler, 1, 2, 3 times on 3 holes or so during the course of that round. And if Scotty were to make a bogey, you might get a par and beat him on that hole as well. So you're not going to beat him head to head, but you can win a hole or two against basically probably anybody in the world if you're a scratch player or a decent player. So you're always going to have a chance. You just have to beat everybody on that particular hole. So you got to beat 5 other golfers to win big money. Here's the brilliant piece of this. One is this is really the test case for other sponsors to get involved, because this was sponsored by Your Health. I'll shout them out. They sponsored it. Also, Play Golf Myrtle Beach also sponsored a hole, and they were donating it. And a lot of these guys were donating to charities as they went along. So I don't necessarily need, you don't have to donate to charity. It's cool that you do, and it's an awesome piece of it. But for the viewer, it doesn't matter. I want you to be sweating it out for money in your own pocket. That's what I want. I want it to be, nerve-wracking for every golfer. And if it's your money that's almost in your pocket, and it's gonna make some different things happen. That's what we love. And they did a phenomenal job editing it in a way to keep the tension so that I, the viewer, felt the moments. So great job, editing crew and everybody involved in this video. Great job, Your Health, for sponsoring this and putting up, I don't know how much money. I'm sure Callaway was involved on some level because there was a prominent Callaway product featured in this video, even though, like, the Bryan brothers are sponsored by Tacoma irons, but they got Callaway, some Callaway gear, and then Tacoma irons, and so it was a collaboration in terms of sponsorships too. So think about this. Here's what's interesting. Oh, subscribe to this channel too if you haven't done so already. Really appreciate the support. Think about this. You go to a tournament, any tournament you play in, a scramble, charity, whatever, there's hole sponsors. And they put up their little, poster, their little tiny billboard on every hole. And you're like, oh, and they paid $1,000 to put that sign up, or $5,000 to be, or whatever. This kind of content will revolutionize that, because now a sponsor would say, hold on, you've got these creators, whoever they may be, and Whole sponsor. I want to be a whole sponsor. You could do this hole by hole by hole. You can do one giant sponsor. I think this is going to be a huge new trend in the world of YouTube golf, particularly when it comes to sponsors. I know as I talk to sponsors now, I'm like, well, hold on. Here's test case. They did this. Obviously, they had the biggest names. They had Rick and Peter and Fat Perez and Grant. So what if we could get so many creators and do a similar thing? I think 6 is a good number. You can't have too many. You don't want the video to get too combobulated, or you want the tension there. And 6 is probably the max. So you get 6 creators, 18 holes of golf. You're going to watch everything. Every putt's going to matter. You're not going to like skip over too much. So for sponsorships, oh my gosh, what a brilliant play. Great job, Your Health, for putting up however much you put up. It was $100,000 in prize fund. Maybe they put up all of it. Maybe they put up some of it. Maybe it was a combination of a few different, who knows? All I know is it was brilliant. I want your thoughts, your comments below. Please, I read them all. And let's keep this stuff going. The only thing I ask is that you let the kid in here, because I might chip a couple in on you. But maybe you don't want that. But who knows? Maybe I'm just can be a filler. I'm in, so you're like, we could beat that guy. That's fine. I don't care. I just love that kind of competitive competition. It's fun. That kind of stuff is going. My prediction, that's it. More like this. That's going to be the newest thing in YouTube. And it's going to be a revolutionary. I know. Maybe I'm overstating this. I don't think so, though. I want to know what you think. Let me know. Is this the kind of stuff you want tons and tons and more of? I do. See you soon.